What's it say?
High resolution.
Oh, it says it.
Good morning,
Good morning.
everybody.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
It is the 7th of September at 8:15 on a Saturday morning. Are y'all up and at 'em? I guess so if you're on here. But somebody may be watching the playback. Jason's not prepared this morning, so I'm just going to have to sit here and look at y'all, not knowing what I'm supposed to say.
I was just telling her that I put 6 scoops of coffee in our coffee maker. And that's what I always do, and it's always good. And I think I may have put 7 or 8 in it this morning because it's a little stronger.
Well, y'all remember when he was talking about Jesse's age, he has a little bit of a problem with numbers, but absolutely no problems with words. So
That's right.
It balances itself out.
I'm not a mathsmith.
No.
Just a wordsmith.
That's right.
Yeah. Just a wordsmith.
Can't count those scoops.
That's right.
It's drinkable. And I asked him to put me a cube of ice in my coffee, and he did. So I've been sipping already.
Miss Laura's trimming hooves this morning.
Oh, goodness. You know, the hoof trimmers that we have come that are on a rotation, so to speak, touched base with me and said that they could come trim hooves next weekend.
Yeah, the weekend of the event.
So I told him I don't think we're going to be able to do it this weekend unless you want to go out and catch all of our animals and put them on the stand, and it's going to have to wait.
It's going to get another weekend.
We're going to have to be in a different rotation.
Yeah.
But that'll be okay. Really, the only one that really needs it is Fifi. And I don't know what the deal is.
Well, we can
straighten her up.
If it's a bunch.
Well, you know, when they got in there and they lifted their hoof up, of course we would see that they needed to be trimmed. But visibly from the outside, the only one I can tell that needs it is Fifi.
Yeah. She's the one that really needs it.
And it's crazy how everybody's different.
It is crazy how they're all different on how they're.
Yeah, hoofs. Bo Peep could go all of her life and probably not have her hooves trimmed. But yet you got Fifi, who's trimmed 6 months ago and
needs it again.
So
it is crazy.
I don't know.
They're all different. They're all different. They all got their own little personalities. It just amazes me how different they are.
Yes, very much so. Very much so.
Even one cat likes the leftover goat's milk, the other cat don't.
Yeah, that's true.
We got, gosh, I forget what treat it is, but some of the goats don't like bananas, and then the other goats love bananas.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
But guess what?
What's that?
Everybody likes animal crackers.
Everybody likes.
I haven't found a goat that doesn't like animal crackers. So that's pretty universal.
Yeah. Saw somebody said they couldn't get us on YouTube, but we see a ton of people on YouTube on here, so I don't know why that is.
Maybe go out and come back in and see if you can.
Maybe so.
Well, they were watching on Facebook?
They were watching on Facebook.
Okay. I was fixing to say, well, how are they watching us?
They were watching on Facebook. Yeah. Y'all, the low humidity is gone. It shows to be in the mid 70s this morning, but the humidity's through the roof. But we did get some rain, not a bunch, but we did get a little bit of rain last night, and so I guess that's why that's happening like that.
Went to the barn this morning to do my milking and feeding. By the time I walked from the house to the barn, I was soaking wet.
Yeah,
hence my hair. It's getting a little big this morning.
Got that farm hair this morning.
I don't know what you call it, but it's high humidity. And before I went outside, I had in my mind that the temperatures were lower. So I put on pants.
Well, I got pants on and I got a long sleeve shirt on, but this is a sun shirt. So it's, I say sun shirt. It's one of those light, breathable shirts.
I tell you what I'm going to do.
Put some shorts on.
I'm going to put some shorts on and continue to wear my shirt. Because it is warm.
Yeah, I may put shorts on too. I may leave this shirt on though. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Well,
So in my video where I gave everybody a tour, I had a brain freeze on a rose. And for the life of me, I could not think the name of that rose. It could not come to me. And I know we all have moments like that. But y'all ever have a moment that the name comes to you and you go, that just don't sound right.
yeah.
So when I was editing the video, there was it came to me what the rose was, and I kept saying, that's not it. That just don't sound right. I know that's not it. And I kept second guessing myself. And so then I Googled it, but it's like a French name and it's spelt weird. You know, it's not spelled like what the way a wordsmith would spell it.
Yeah.
And every single time I Googled it, all these other roses came up, not the one I was looking for. Because I thought, Google's going to help me out here.
Right.
If I don't spell it right. And it didn't. So I kept on and I kept on. So I bet y'all I spent an hour trying to figure out what that rose's name was so I could put it in that video.
Jason.
I got in that zone. I was like, I'm going to find the name of this. And I never could. And the whole time I was saying it. So after I had the video done, edited, a light bulb went off. And I said, I talk about that rose in every tour I've done. So I went back and watched the video of the spring tour. And lo and behold, I was right. It is Juan d'Esprit.
Juan d'Esprit.
But it's not spelt like Juan d'Esprit.
It's not Juan?
That part is, but there's several roses that it had the word Juan in.
Oh, so that made it difficult.
Yeah, it's the d'Esprit, or I think it's spelled d'Esprit.
Oh.
But it's said, you say it d'Esprit.
Which one is that?
It's the one on the front fence going into the garden. And I was so happy I was right. But then I was like, well, I'm not going to go back. I've already got this video uploaded. I'm not going to redo that to put that one word in there.
I can't believe you didn't.
It was tempting, but I was like, I've already got this thing uploaded. It's ready to roll. I have to do the whole thing.
Well, you've come a long way then. Because last year you would have went in there and changed it, I think.
Juan d'Esprit. I think it's spelt.
Don't think.
You can go back on the spring tour video.
Jason, and nobody will find that.
And I'll have it right there. I put the name of it up there. But I think it is spelled Desprez or Eez. It's a weird saying there, but Juan d'Esprit is that rose.
Okay.
And I'm saying it just like Jason from Petals from the Past is saying it. And he is an official rose rustler from Texas A&M and is a rose expert, but he has been known to say them wrong too. So
he's not a wordsmith.
Oh, he teaches a rose class every year, and he can do it blindfolded. And I've gone to 3, and it's kind of the same class every time, and so I kind of know what he's gonna say, but every now and then he'll get off track. But there was a rose that he talks about that he used to talk about all the time in a class, and the ladies in this rose class let him know that he had been saying it wrong. And he'd been saying it wrong all this time.
And it's hard to break that habit once you say something the same way over and over and over again.
It is. That reminds me.
Somebody put it on there.
That's it. Somebody got it on there. That's it. Thank you. Somebody said, well, Chris Stewart, the voice of Alabama. He does all the football games and basketball games. Used to do baseball. Awesome guy. Everybody loves Chris Stewart. Such a nice guy. And he does Hey Coach, he does all this stuff. And Coach Saban's been the coach for 17 years. And so he's got this little podcast radio show he does one day a week or whatever. And he has this young lady with him, and she asked him that has he called Coach DeBoer, Alabama's new coach, Coach Saban, and he said he has not. And thank you for jinxing him. And he had "Hey Coach" that night, and he called
him
Coach DeBoer
Saban?
Coach Saban.
How about that?
And it was
that's great.
it was a big thing. And Chris didn't even know he said it. He had no idea he said
just
it.
kept going.
He just kept going, and everybody was like, "You did it," because had started to become an inside joke with everybody. How long was it going to take
He jinxed him.
Chris Stewart to call Coach DeBoer Coach Saban? But how many times do you reckon he has said Coach Saban in 17 years?
A lot. A whole lot. It's just your mind gets in a routine, and it's hard to break it.
Yeah, it is.
Hard to break it.
But Juan de Spree, which is a beautiful rose, beautiful, beautiful rose. I can't wait till that area gets full.
Well, is Jason teaching a class next Saturday?
No, his dad is though.
Okay.
His dad is teaching a growing fruit in the South class.
Okay, so speaking of growing fruit in the South.
Yes.
I saw some people that pointed out that they thought you did something very wrong.
Uh-oh, what'd I do?
You shouldn't trim your fruit trees right now.
That's
what they said.
I think I'm okay trimming them.
They said,
why wouldn't I trim them right now?
You're not supposed to trim them until the fruit's gone.
I trimmed away. They were way too tall. And I'm not going to have a ladder to trim the fruit.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't trim any of the pear trees. I got 2 apple trees that still have
first frost is what that person
little
says.
little bit there, but
does Petals trim theirs right now?
I don't know if they trim. I mean, it's not going to hurt anything. It's absolutely not going to hurt anything whatsoever. If it was going to sit blooms, the stuff I cut off, I don't want fruit on anyways.
Okay.
So
that answers that.
Yeah, it's not like I cut it way back. I just trimmed away everything that was going crazy that I didn't want fruit there anyway. So
gotcha.
That's why I trimmed it back.
Well, we just opened that can when you start talking about Dr. Powell teaching the fruit tree class. So if you are coming to the event next Saturday, be sure to check out the classes that are going to be offered, because some of those, Dr. Powell would be a very interesting one of them to see. They're probably all going to be interesting, but I can't vouch for any of them except for Dr. Powell's knowledge.
I got you. And also, I'm growing my trees on a trellis. So I don't want anything in between, which I had shoots coming off. I don't want those on there. I trim throughout the whole season. I keep them trimmed through the whole season because the way I'm growing them. I'm growing them.
You're not growing it like a big
I'm not
bushy
growing
tree.
it like a big bushy tree. I want everything to stay on the trellis, and I don't want it 8 foot tall because I don't want a ladder to have to pick my fruit.
Yes.
Yep.
I don't either.
That's right.
I don't either. But I'm gonna tell you something. Those apples are good.
They're good.
They are so good. So much better than what you buy in the grocery store. I saw somebody on Facebook yesterday that was looking for organic apples in Alabama. Now, you spray your trees, but are they considered organic?
It's probably not, because I use only thing I spray my trees for is fungicides. Yep, that's it. But
they're probably not going to find an organic, truly organic, with no spraying whatsoever apple.
You make it at a store. I just don't know that much.
They'd be shipped in though. Not grown in Alabama.
I think they would be shipped in. Yep. My Cumberland Spur did amazing, y'all. It did absolutely amazing. It's done. It's done with the fruit. It probably put on about, and this was its first year, so I was shocked how well it grew and how many apples it put on. I think we got 10 apples off of it. But this was its first year.
Next year will be.
It grew faster than any apple tree I've ever grown. But it is an Alabama apple.
Well, that makes a difference then, doesn't it?
Yes. Yep.
Well, I certainly have enjoyed it. The fruit is delicious, and in the years to come, we'll continue to have more and more, right? As the trees mature. And my mama said that there was an apple tree down the road from where she grew up in a rural, just in the sticks, if you know what I'm talking about. And she said that her and some of her friends would say, do you want to ride down to such and such's house and see if she'll let us pick some of those apples? And they would go down there and they'd ask the lady and she'd let them pick some apples. And Mama said that one of those apple trees has that same exact flavor to the apple that she remembered when she was a child.
Granddaddy had one he had a little river house.
Mm-hmm.
And he had one in the front yard of that river house, and they were little bitty apples, but it wasn't maintained. It wasn't trimmed or anything.
Well, hers probably wasn't either.
And they never turned red. They always stayed kind of that green. And always had that tart
Mama
flavor.
said it was green looking.
And that's what one of those tastes like. I got them written down in order somewhere. It's just hard to mark stuff.
Right.
And between the weather and all that, it fades away. But
well, she said she has never since childhood tasted an apple that tasted like that until now.
Good. Well, I'm glad she.
Well, she didn't know which one it was, of course, but she
There's only 2 that have fruit on it, and it's not many at all.
And out of those, well, now this wasn't here recently. This was a while back.
Yeah.
So it may have been one that previously fruited.
I got you.
I don't know. I got
you.
She didn't want to know the name of it. She was just happy to know that she had an apple that tasted like something she remembered.
I got you. Now, if we didn't have a bunch of projects going on all the time, I would probably trim my apple trees all year to keep them growing on my trellis like I want them to.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that they had gotten so crazy and out of whack that they needed a big haircut. But I would trim them all year, except when they go dormant. I wouldn't trim them because they wouldn't be growing.
The other day, I was looking out the kitchen window and I was doing like this. And Jason came in. He said, "What are you looking at?" I said, "I think there's a deer out there in the fruit orchard." And
First time.
And so I was enjoying watching the deer out the window. Immediately, the door flings open. And Jason tells Holly, "Go get it. Go get it. Go get it." And so Holly's looking at him like, "What am I supposed to go get?"
What am I supposed to go
get? I don't know.
You're supposed to just run and that's what I wanted to do, was just run out the door.
Well, she didn't know what she was supposed to do. So Jason and Holly start walking towards the fruit orchard, and the deer takes off. And she was a good sized doe.
Mm-hmm.
She was a beautiful, kind of straw colored. Yep. And I asked Catherine about the coloration. She said this time of the year, they are that color.
Oh, really?
And as the season goes on, they get darker as the foliage changes.
Mm-hmm.
So Holly ran the deer off. And then I heard Jason come back on the porch and he was blah, 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 just talking. And I said, "Who were you talking to?" He said, "Those boys, they're out there asleep on the porch while there's deer out there in my fruit orchard."
I was giving them a pep talk. I was like, "Why ain't you? There's a deer in the fruit orchard. It could eat everything, and y'all sitting in here sleep."
Oh goodness. Well, the deer took off, and hopefully she won't be back, but I have a feeling she's had a taste of that apple my mama had when she was a child.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm afraid of. I did buy some Irish Spring soap, which according to Jason's dad, Dr. Powell over there at Pedals, he said that does work. It just don't last very long.
Yeah, you have to continuously add soap.
Continually put the soap out there.
Because we all know that water and soap makes it disappear.
And then the sun hits it. Now, they make a fertilizer, and I talked about this before, but it smells very, very bad, and that keeps them away. But
well, if we had bought that fertilizer and then bought that stinky mulch, we'd have been doing good, wouldn't
the stinky mulch probably would have kept them away. Right?
It might have attracted them. I told that deer, I said, "Go on over there to G&G. She likes all of y'all. She take good care of you."
There you go. Go on over there.
That's right. But anyway, well, you couldn't tell that anything had been eaten on your trees.
Haven't seen anything, no. Haven't seen anything that looked out of the ordinary. That's what happened to Tracy this year. Hers was fine.
At Just Dig It
Farm, and
deer got hers?
I think they went out of town for a couple of days and came back, and they had devastated it. And they don't eat just the fruit. They eat the tree.
That's what I was saying is, could you tell that they had eaten any of the tree?
Eat the tree, so.
Because we really wouldn't be concerned. I mean, there's fruit that's fallen off the tree that's hit the ground.
Yeah.
They could eat that, but they're not going to just eat that. They're going to eat the tree too.
That's right. I don't think I have any issue with them at night. That's when the dogs are pretty active.
Yeah, they just were snoozing that day.
Yep.
And I'm telling you, when I looked out the window, it was just staring me in the face. The coloration was so vivid.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my gosh, that's the first time I've ever seen a deer out there.
Yep.
And that's not a good sign, because once they find it, it's like a buffet.
Yeah.
You know, it's on.
Yep.
It is on.
Hmm.
Well, this one day this week, I'm cutting grass, doing my thing, going along. And the blade, when it's turning, it makes a certain sound. When it quits turning, it makes a certain sound. Got my blade on, and all of a sudden it just quits turning. And I was like, oh my gracious. So I drove on to the barn because I knew something had happened. Got off the lawnmower, looked, of course, the belt had jumped off. And I don't know what happened, but it's like the belt jumped on the wrong pulley, because it pulled some of the belt apart. And I couldn't finish cutting grass. And now that we've had a little bit of rain this morning, I noticed that it looks like since it rained yesterday, the grass has grown a foot.
It has. And we didn't get a lot of rain. I think we ended up getting
It's just
2 or 3 tenths.
When it wets the ground.
It was enough.
It was enough.
And I'm happy we got it.
So, my thinking is I got the grass cut out by the road, which is, well, that's the entrance to the property.
Mm-hmm.
So I did get that part cut, but everything else is just in need. So I went and picked up a belt and a new set of blades, and hopefully Jason can get it put on without me having to take it to the shop.
That's my goal. We're going to get it.
When it's grass cutting season and you take your lawnmower to the shop, everybody else's lawnmower's in the shop too.
Yep.
So that means that's going to put you a week at getting it back. Or more sometimes. And plus you got to load it on that trailer and get it over there. So, oh goodness, I hope you can get my lawnmower fixed.
We're going to get it. And our trailer's so big that the lawnmower, I don't know, it's just crazy.
Speaking of trailer, Jason and I made a decision a few weeks ago about something that I found on Marketplace.
I have been wanting a little trailer. I've talked about it before, to go on the back of our side-by-side. And something that, like, I got to go clean the fruit orchard up is what I'm going to do. And I just want something I can pull with a side-by-side, and I can throw all the stuff in there and take it where it needs to go. Take it where it needs to go. And just hadn't really found one. And Harbor Freight has one. But I just don't know how, some things at Harbor Freight's good. Some of it, is not so good. And I don't know. I was just a little worried that the trailer from Harbor Freight wouldn't be great. And you kept saying, let me find one on Marketplace. Let me find one on Marketplace. And you did. And you got a 2-for-1 deal on this.
Y'all, let me tell you. Okay, so I browse Marketplace just about every day, not looking for anything, just in case there's something we can use that's a good deal. So this particular day, of course, I found something, and let me show y'all. This is the little trailer. I saw it, and I thought to myself, I know it's going to be gone.
Yeah.
So I immediately sent the girl a message. She replied to me, pending. I said, I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. And I said, okay, well, if the sale falls through, I have cash and I can come anytime. Got a message back, almost pretty immediate, that said, my dad's going to call you. What's your phone number?
Mm-hmm.
I gave her my phone number. About an hour later, I had just about given up, because I thought if he was going to call me, he'd call me right then. Yeah. This older gentleman called me, and he said, you looking for a trailer? And I said, yes, sir. I said, is it available? He said, right now it is. And I said, okay, can you save it for me? How long you going to be? I was in town, in Clanton. I said, okay, all I got to do is go home and talk to my husband, and we'll be on the way. Lo and behold, we get home, and it was a day that Jason had finished everything, and we hopped on over to Prattville. Was actually Millbrook.
Yeah.
A little bit closer. And y'all, this trailer is perfect, because it's got, I just showed it to y'all, but let me show you.
It's again. A small livestock trailer is what it is.
But we can take that cage off.
The cage does come off, or the whatever you want to call it.
It's very well made.
Very well made.
It has a roof on it. You
Mhm.
can't see the roof in that picture. It has a nice door that opens and securely fastens back.
Mhm.
Has screws that are bolts all the way around it, as well as, what do you call that?
Like a turnbuckle strap.
It ain't
Yeah.
coming off.
Yeah.
It ain't coming off. But the wood does need to be replaced.
Mhm.
And we knew that when we bought it, but
Right.
we got a good deal. And this is something that we can use for multiple purposes. We can take that cage, so to speak, off. Jason's already been using it
Yeah.
around the property to pick up
With the
stuff.
cage on there.
With the cage on it.
I gotta get the cage off.
We're gonna get the cage off and replace that wood. But it's perfect. And
Yep.
and it's going to be perfect for my friend Catherine when she needs to borrow it.
Yes.
All she's got to do is hop over here and put it on her car. And if she needs to take her goat somewhere or deer somewhere or whatever,
Mhm.
it's available.
Yep. She says it's gonna be perfect when she has to release her phones.
Yes.
Yep.
And I was thinking about her when we made the purchase. I mean, of course we can use it too, but my goodness, it's something that I couldn't pass on.
Right. And it could be, we got a bigger livestock trailer that's fairly big.
Oh, it's big. It's too big.
But if something happened and Dr. D couldn't get here and we had Gus or Loretta that was ill,
Or even
or
the boys.
goat, or the boys. Yeah,
the boys meaning the dogs.
yeah, 'cause
Y'all, they're too
so
big. They can't just go
Yep.
loose in the back of the truck, and they dang sure can't go in the back seat. They wouldn't fit.
Yeah, then we could put them in there and take them to the vets because
That's
it is like a mini livestock trailer. So, and these people had Nubian goats, and that's what they used it for.
They no longer had goats, and so they were getting rid of the trailer. And boy, I am so happy to have that on site.
Yes,
I may never have to take an animal in it.
may not, but we got it just in case.
Just in case, because it can be used to pick up sticks and trash and debris across the property.
Which is exactly what I wanted it for.
And we looked at one just a few weeks ago at Lowe's. It was just this size, kind of tiny, What is it, 4x6?
I think so.
4x6. And I was like, Jason, look at that trailer. It's nice. He hopped out and looked at it. It was $899.
Yeah, that thing was almost, after you had tax, and that was going to be $1,000.
And I said, no.
Oh.
And I knew that this trailer was much better than the little ones that are offered at Harbor Freight.
Yeah,
and even Lowe's that are, just a little pull behind trailer. This one's bigger and it's flat.
And this is like a legit
It's
trailer.
a road trailer. You can put it with your car.
Yeah, you wouldn't find this at Harbor Freight. This has got a tag on it.
It's got a tag on it. So y'all know what that means? I can go out of state. I can go out of state. I'm not searching for anything, but if something were to come available, I hesitated. I was like, I wonder if Honey could have rode in this, but I think Honey would have been a little too tall.
She probably would have been a little too tall.
We'd have had to cut a little hole out for her head to stick out the top of it.
Like a sunroof.
But when I went to Florida to go get Loretta and Gus, no. When we went to Florida to get Loretta and Gus too.
Yeah, no.
When we went to Florida to get Honey, I borrowed a trailer from a friend of Catherine's, and it was an awesome trailer. If I could have found one like that, of course, I would have bought it. But it was a little small goat trailer. It had a tag on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I told y'all that I got stopped I didn't get stopped. You have to pull over on the way back because it's a livestock check.
Mm-hmm.
And at that livestock check, I had to show Coggins test. I had to show that I had a tag on the trailer. And in Alabama, you're not required to tag a trailer. So,
well, technically you are. It's just not heavily enforced here whatsoever.
Well, if I had taken a trailer without a tag to pick up Honey, Honey'd still be in Florida.
Right. Yeah.
They would not let me cross without legit.
That's one of those things that's fairly lenient in Alabama. But I think if you look, you're technically supposed to have a tag on your trailer.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, none of ours have tags. Don't tell on us. But the goat trailer does. Or I'm going to call it a goat trailer.
Yeah.
The deer trailer. the something trailer.
I got to tell you something funny. Patricia said that's perfect because Catherine can bring Hut over here for a visit for a time or two.
Speaking of that, I was thinking this morning, I was like thinking about Bootsy and Bo Peep and how, they've both had a set of kids in their previous, with Topper,
Yeah.
who no longer is able to be to fertilize the ladies. He's no longer able to have kids, not because he's having an operation. We don't know why.
Yeah.
But Bootsy and Bo Peep, in my opinion, are too old to breed anyway. I mean, Bootsy's 10 years old.
She's 10.
8 or 9. She's got to be.
She's 8 or 9. She's getting close to 10.
Because Mary Carl's going to be 15 in December.
Mm-hmm. But I think we had a YouTube channel when we got her, didn't we? Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, because we had Tip.
But to me, they're both too old to have babies. So, you know, while I was thinking of Hut Hut and thinking of how nice it would be to have some Bootsy babies, she's too old.
Yeah.
She's just too old.
She's old lady.
And some people may not feel like that she's too old. But in my opinion, I don't want to breed her and have any complications.
That's right. I agree.
If I don't have to.
I agree 100%.
Bootsy's a little firecracker.
You wouldn't know she was 10.
No.
Or Tip. Tip's the oldest goat.
Yeah, Tip. Did I tell y'all that Tip tangled me up in the water hose?
You told me.
I don't know if I told them or not, but Tip tangled me up in the water hose the other day and I hit the ground. And he was just sitting there laughing at me. He didn't think it was anything wrong with it. Yep. And Bo Peep, she's got to be pretty old too.
Bo Peep's getting up there. She's probably the third oldest for sure. And, you know, we see this comment a lot is, you know, why are goats so fat? Number one is that it's the breed. Those pygmy breeds, like the Nigerian dwarfs or the pygmy goats, they're just short
and plump.
That's just how they're made.
Our goats don't get a lot of grain.
They don't.
They're eating grass and they're eating hay, which is what they're designed to do. Grain is kind of a treat. You don't even have to give them grain. Some goat people don't feed their goats grain.
Yeah.
But we do it just to keep them happy and keep them tame and whatnot. But they're not fat because they're eating an over amount of grain.
Yep. And the only ones that get animal crackers is Capri, and she's being milked. And you notice they're not that plump looking.
No, they're more slim and
they look just like a Nubian dairy goat is supposed to look. Because Joe doesn't look like that. No. Mo doesn't look like that.
No, it's so short. But Topper, Tip, Bo Peep, and Bootsy, there's some round.
And you know, they get high quality hay, they get high quality feed. So I mean, they're not malnourished.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're healthy. I mean, Tip is getting close to 10 years old.
Yeah.
If not 10.
Yeah, him and Bootsy are close to the same age.
Yep.
So, gosh, dog, I don't even want to think about ever losing one. It's been a long time since we had that heartbreak. But you know, as they get older, you just have to appreciate the time you've had with them.
Oh yeah.
And know that anything can happen. But they have been well taken care of, that's for sure.
That's right.
That is for sure.
Miss Brenda, I'm glad I wasn't drinking my coffee when I read her comment.
What was it?
She said she must be a pygmy goat.
Oh, goodness.
That was funny.
That is funny. That is funny.
Oh, goodness. Y'all, Miss Brooke, I say Brooke, both of us, but I got it because of Brooke. Brooke officially has her a new camera that she can actually work, y'all.
I didn't know what you were going to say.
I'm going to show it to him.
Oh, goodness.
Brooke has her little camera here. She can actually work. Now, this camera's been out for a year or two now. It's the DJI Pocket 3. For anybody who was interested, I got several emails wanting to know what it was. And
DJI.
Oh, sorry. DJI.
I thought that was wrong.
DJI.
The Dollar General.
And it is a cool camera.
Didn't your friend at Bar 7 Ranch tell you about this?
They did. Well, I've known about it, and for a while, I knew it was out there, but I did not know how well it was. The only thing that scared me about it is I was scared that an animal may knock it over and break it. But I bought their insurance, which was fairly cheap. But I'm going to show y'all. It's easy to use, so that's why I got it for Brooke. But if you look right here in the screen, if the screen is flipped like this, That's how it records. And if it's flipped like this, it records, this way, horizontal.
But first, let me tell you something. I was told to turn it like this to cut it off.
Yeah.
So that's what I did.
That's what
I
you
cut
did.
it off.
Yep.
But when I went to record the next time, I didn't change the screen.
Yep. And that's how come in that video, it kind of looked like that. I had to fix it. I did fix it a good little bit, but some of it I couldn't. So, but I am proud of Brooke. She does have her new camera here.
And y'all, I love it. Like, I want to go find something to record today. I gotta finish up my video tomorrow, but it's it's a joy to use. It really is. And I don't have to worry about my voice because I'm wearing a microphone.
Yes.
So y'all, kudos to me for being able to work something.
I got to let Bar 7. They wanted me to let them know if how you were liking it, so or how we were liking it, and I'm going to let them know.
I'll call them if you want me to, because it's the first camera besides this thing right here that I've been able to use.
Because it is user
friendly. I'm gonna tell y'all, my phone's past its prime, and the volume does not work like it should.
Yep.
Jason knew it was time for me to do something different, but I honestly didn't want to go buy a new phone just to record with.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like that was kind of not even. Jason told me after he ordered it, I got you a new camera coming.
I didn't even ask her. I got it coming.
And he said it should be delivered such and such day. And I was like, I was thinking to myself, I ain't going to be able to work it. I don't know why you bought me another camera, because I am not going to be able to work it. We've been through this. We've been through this. Yep. He bought me a microphone. Couldn't work it.
I bought a microphone
recorded the video.
To go with her phone.
And there was no sound. And I had the microphone on, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
I thought. But this, you can see every little thing you need to know.
Yes.
If the thing's moving at the top, your microphone's on.
Well,
if the red's flickering, your record's on.
I always tell you, red and green, just think of Christmas. If you see the green going, the mic's working. And if you see the red dot, you're recording. That's right. Philip want to know, it's on a gimbal. So it's smooth. If you see us walking around with it and stuff, you don't see it's not jittery. It's real smooth.
I really, really, really like it.
Yeah, it's nice. And you've used it once, and I used it in the last video. So it's going to take us a little bit to kind of get used to that gimbal, because you can't just turn it around and show.
Well, I've had to find myself using boxes and whatnot to prop it up on. Jason used his tripod, but I
you don't like the
so
tripod,
much like this, or turning it around, holding it, that the tripod gets in my way. So right now I'm using the little gimbal thing that it came with, and we may, as I get more advanced, we may decide to do a little something different.
We might.
But I could immediately tell the quality difference.
And it was a lot easier to edit too, y'all. It just because Brooke's sound gets way out of whack, because when we're recording for the main channel, I always had the mics. And so, she just goes off and talks like she normally does, and the microphone picks it up. But when you're on Brooke's channel and she don't have the mic, she'll do that, and I have to try to fix that when I go to edit. And so I don't do any of that.
No more of that.
Made it a lot easier to edit.
And I am thrilled to have it.
Yep. Somebody wanted to know the name again. It's the DJI Pocket 3.
Pocket 3.
Yes.
And I was trying to find the link for Catherine, because she would like to get one eventually. And when I typed it in, DJI Pocket 4 came up.
Yeah, but it's not set to come out yet. I already looked at that before I ordered it.
Well, I'm glad you went ahead and ordered the 3 while it was out, because we might have to be doing some lip syncing before the new camera came out, the way my volume was doing. And I would read some comments like, Brooke, your volume's going in and out. And I was like, I don't know how to fix it.
I see people asking about GoPros and stuff.
Jason has so many cameras. It's crazy.
I've tried everything, because this is our business, and I want it to be, the best product we can put out there. And also I want it to be easier to edit. And so I've used all kind of cameras. I used the big camera with the shotgun mic that a lot of people use, but you can't get a steady shot with that, because if you're walking with it, it just kind of bounces. And I've done GoPros. GoPros are great, but the only thing I don't like about the GoPro for me is that we're always outside and it overheats. And I got 3 or 4 GoPros and I stopped at the 10. And they all do the same thing. And when a GoPro overheats, it shuts down. And
So Jason would be in the middle of recording.
and I wouldn't know it had shut down. And so, it would be, oh gosh, it would be like, 20 or 30 minutes of the video not recorded.
And y'all don't think he can get mad, but you let him record 30 minutes worth of footage and it only record 15 minutes. He gets pretty mad.
Yeah.
And I don't blame him because some of it's not footage you can recreate.
Yeah, some of it. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, and that's crucial when you're doing what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Jason, then when the GoPro started giving the overheat warning, you went to the DJI,
the Action 4,
but it started giving some kind of water warning.
It started giving the water warning. But I will say this: though, I've put both GoPros and that Action 4 through the ringer because it's used almost it's pretty much used every
day.
Single day outside. And but you won't see that mistake again on Brooks. Shouldn't see that again on Brooks videos. But that's why I had to do that one part where she was narrow. I tried to make it as wide as I could, but if I made it any wider, you're just gonna see this much of her.
And Jason said, you did everything right.
Everything right.
You did everything right. But there was one clip that was the wrong way. So try to make sure that you have your screen turned sideways. And so he fixed it to where I don't turn it
to cut it off
back up to cut it off. I just used the button to cut it off. And that solved it.
Yep.
But he was so nice about it because he said, you did everything right. Except.
But you got it.
I got it.
You got it.
I got it. It's really, really easy to use. If I say that, then it's truth.
It's easy to use. We went to the movies.
Oh, we, meaning all 3 of us.
All 3 of us. And we saw Twisters, not Twister. Twisters. It's got an S on the end.
Okay, so is that totally different than that first one that came out?
They go hand in hand.
Well, I mean, I'm saying, is it like a same people?
It wasn't the same people.
I don't remember seeing the first one.
They went hand in hand. The only thing that is that at the beginning where they show they're trying to get in front of the tornado, and he has that same contraption that the previous gentleman made that opens up and all the silver balls. That was kind of the tying the two together.
I'm gonna tell y'all something. I loved it.
It was good. It was. I mean, it's not gonna win any awards.
It did. It to me. It won an award because I sat through the whole thing, ate a whole bucket of popcorn, and enjoyed it.
It's just your general,
thriller.
Feel good thriller.
It kind of had a love story mixed into it too.
It did.
Mama asked me if it was good, and I said, yeah. I said it was kind of like action with a little love story, and she said, eh. Like she wasn't interested in that.
Oh, it was good. The first one was good. I mean, you saw the first one at the movies too.
I don't remember it, Jason. I don't remember it.
But if you just wanted something to do and it was on at your movie theater and wanted to have a couple hours with yourself or your family, it's good. It's a family movie too.
So Jason told me about a month ago about this theater that's now starting to become more popular.
Yeah.
And this theater created wind if there was wind in the movie, rain if there was rain in the movie. The whole theater would
shake and all kinds of, I don't know exactly how it works.
Up if it was lightning.
Yeah.
So, I'm thinking we need to go watch Twister at this theater. And the closest one to us was Atlanta, Georgia. And he was telling me about it. And he said, there's another one that just has wind, right?
I think it has the vibration.
And that's in Mobile or somewhere?
Tuscaloosa, I thought may have one.
Okay.
Yep.
But after watching that movie, I cannot imagine watching that Twister movie in a theater that gave you wind. And
I'm curious if anybody's been in one of those theaters.
What is it called?
I forgot what it's called now. I forgot.
I don't think I could have handled it because
Yeah.
there was a lot of that going on.
Yep. Yeah, Beetlejuice came out yesterday. Somebody said Beetlejuice. And
No, came out Thursday.
Thursday, sorry. Came out Thursday. And 4D. That's what I thought, but I didn't want. That's kind of like my Rose. I thought it was called 4D, and I didn't want to say that, but I think they're right. It's not IMAX. It's even better than IMAX.
What is that called? Their Family Farm?
It's gone.
It's at the top. Is it called Growned? GRO? I can't read it. Anyway, have y'all seen a movie in that theater?
4D. Oh, okay.
That's what I wanted to ask.
It was pretty cool. I say it looked pretty cool from the video I saw showing it.
So we offered to take Mary Carl to the movies yesterday because it rained, and Beetlejuice is not something that I'm interested in seeing.
Yeah.
Both Mary Carl and Jason were very surprised by that.
I was, because I thought you liked the first one.
It's not that I didn't like it. I saw the previews in the Twister movie for the Beetlejuice, and it's just not my thing. I'm a Twister girl. I'm not a Beetlejuice girl. I'm a Twister girl. But I'm sure it will be entertaining for those that like that kind of thing. Anyway, she chose not to go.
She decided she didn't want to go.
She's doing school 5 days a week this year instead of last year that was 4 days a week program. And she needed to do her school, and after that she was a little tired,
drained, I guess.
All right, they said, had they seen it? Right there, Jason.
She said rhymes with grounds family farm.
Oh, Grounds Family Farm. Well, I didn't see if they had seen one or not in the 4D.
I don't know.
I don't know either. But I was going to go with them if they wanted to go yesterday. And I was going to go, probably hang out at Lowe's or Home Depot or somewhere like that and let them watch the movie. But she chose not to. So that worked out because Jason and I got some things done that needed to be done around here.
We cleaned the barn.
We did. It was raining and wasn't much else we could do.
We were stuck inside.
So we cleaned out that barn. And I'm going to tell you something, Jason.
Yeah.
It felt so good to go in there this morning and not see junk all over the place.
Well, it builds up, and then when you're busy,
life gets away from you.
Yeah,
y'all.
It does, and you're busy, and then it's nice weather outside, or so much stuff needs to be done outside, and
you just don't want to take away. And it hadn't rained in so long that it hadn't given us a break.
Right.
So, yes, we were glad to get that. And even some comments had been made. Okay, there it is. They have been to 4D. You see that?
Theme parks, but no 4D movie theater.
Okay. What was I saying?
We're talking about cleaning.
I know, but I can't remember what I was saying. It left me. Yeah. I'd read some comments about y'all need to clean that barn up. That's what I was going to say. That ain't why we cleaned it up.
Oh, we had a rainy day.
If
it had been sunshining yesterday, the barn still, it looks like a barn.
We can't help it. I mean, animals live in there, and feed goes in and out, and
hay is probably the biggest thing.
Yeah,
though.
Hay goes. Speaking of hay,
yeah,
I'm getting worried.
Why?
I saw something come up yesterday, and
shortage because of lack of rain.
No, it wasn't that. It was a hay locator, and it was saying that Alabama farmers are already having a hard time finding hay.
Really?
And that they were showing, like people that had posted on hay for sale sites, reposting it, resharing it, so people could get hay already.
We may need to start looking into that then.
Dr. D said that he's already having to feed hay.
Yeah, because his pastures were so crunchy.
His pastures were crunchy. Now our pastures are green.
Knock on wood.
And our animals choose grass over hay.
Yes.
That hay bale that we put in there with the goats has just about not been touched. I mean, I'm thinking about when Moody and Mildred's hay goes down, because they do eat more hay than the goats. Taking that bale that's in the goats, moving it to Moody and Mildred.
I think you're right.
And starting over with the goats.
Yep.
when it needs to, because there's a lot of grass.
It is a lot of grass, and I will say this: we have been in a we're in a moderate drought right now, according to the weather people, and it was the second driest August on record in 129 years, and our pasture grass is still nice. Knock on wood.
It is. It's like this little bit of shower like we had yesterday.
It don't take much.
Does enough to keep it going.
Yep.
And I don't know when Moody and Mildred will quit eating the grass.
I'm guessing.
Will it be after the first freeze?
Yeah, I'm thinking probably November-ish. That's what I'm thinking. November-ish. So I did the math, and in my head, with the pasture set up like it is now, and everybody's got these large pastures, they can't keep up with the grass right now, really, is that we can get by with somewhere around 8 to 10 bales of hay for the entire year now.
Well, hopefully, but I'm thinking that in the winter months, we're going to need 2 a month.
That's what I'm thinking.
But we're going to need it more than 4 months.
I was thinking November, December, January. I guess you're right.
Because they won't cut hay until June.
Yeah. We stopped getting hay in May this year.
We stopped getting hay. Okay. Mm-hmm. So we'll need to have hay until May.
But the cows wouldn't move either.
That's true.
So that's what I was thinking. So anyways.
Yeah, I mean, up to this point, I have cut the pasture where, the little boys are now. Mm-hmm. I've cut it, and I've also cut the pasture that Nugget can go into, and then we open it up and let the donkeys and the goats go into. I've had to cut it.
Right.
So, so far, and then they haven't even been in there the whole growing season.
No, not at all.
We didn't move them in there until, so that's going to really, really help us with buying hay.
Yep.
Of course, we don't cut our own hay because the equipment is very expensive.
Yeah, we looked into that. And like I said, now with the pastures and everybody moved like they are now.
If we don't have to buy, but say 12 bales of hay.
12 bales of hay.
That's what, 12 times.
I mean, just say $1,000.
Yeah.
A year.
I was going to say $850. You couldn't touch hay equipment for $850.
Yeah, because
and over 10 years, you're talking what, $8,500. You still couldn't touch it.
Yeah, because we'd have to buy a cutter, the proper cutter, because what we got would not work for hay. You got to buy a rake, mm-hmm. and then you got to buy a baler, mm-hmm. and then you got the twine, and you got the upkeep on all the equipment. We've talked to people that bale hay, we told them our situation. They all say, no, you wouldn't.
Because then the equipment has to be maintained, and the equipment has to be worked on when it breaks. Mm-hmm. And we can't work on it, so we'd have to find somebody to pay.
That's right.
It's just not justifiable, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. However, I think I would enjoy baling hay.
You probably would. Now, if we had 100 acres,
yeah,
that would be different.
It's just not enough grounds to justify it, in my opinion. And I don't anticipate us buying 100 acres of pasture land at any point in our life.
Mm-mm.
Matter of fact, I've been thinking about pouring concrete everywhere. Since we moved the animals from the smaller pastures, those pastures are growing, and we're either going to get more animals or pour concrete because we're cutting grass. And there's no way you could bale hay in those little fenced-in areas.
Oh, man.
They're too small to get equipment in there and get it turned around, and you might get one hay bale out of it.
Right. I see people asking about Snow White. She's good. She hasn't escaped anymore.
Nope. We were in the barn with her all day yesterday. Mm-hmm. She had the door open that went outside. She did go outside, but she never left the building.
She was probably enjoying my country music mix I had playing while we were in the barn.
She probably was. At one point, I looked at her, and she was just laying down with her eyes closed.
Oh, me!
I saw that somebody said that the mirror may have made her realize that she really doesn't want a friend, and she wanted to get out of there.
Yeah, I know this is just me coming up with this off the top of my head, but I wonder if she thought another hen or peacock was in there. And she's so submissive that she's like, this is this peacock's territory, and I may need to get out of here.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think we're ever going to know what she was thinking.
No idea.
But it was weird. Yep. It was weird that it happened. And I do feel like it was related to the mirror because she never did that.
Mm-mm.
I mean, how long did we have her? 6 weeks before that ever happened?
Yeah.
And then I go out there. that evening to what happened the first time was I went out there that evening to put everybody up. I go to shut Snow White's door and she wasn't in there.
Yeah.
Y'all can imagine the fear I felt.
Oh, I think I was editing and you told me and I
said, Snow White's gone.
I was gone. Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Snow White's gone. And I had no idea where she could have went and how she could have got there. Because just looking right out there in the pasture, she was not to be seen. I walked to the back of the goat pasture in the wooded area, and I even took a video of her. She was pecking around, and is there a way you can search for videos? And I couldn't believe my eyes. I could not believe my eyes. Should I turn the?
I mean, I want to because it may distort.
Here she is, walking around in the back of the goat pasture. And I was like, girl, what in the world are you doing?
Yeah.
And so I just walked right up to her and picked her up and took her back to her pasture. And she did that a couple of more times, getting out loose in the barn. One time I went in the barn. Let me find it.
If you can, it should be close to that.
It's not a video, though. It's a picture.
Oh, it's a picture.
I went in, opened up the barn doors, and we've got a big shelving system, and she's sitting on the tip top of that shelf. I sent it to you so I can search by that way. Y'all look at her. This was before we cleaned up the barn. She's sitting on the tip top. Big as you please. And I thought,
oh, me.
How did you get up there?
But you saw her try to fly.
I saw her.
And you said it was awkward and uncoordinated.
Y'all, it didn't need to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know what was going on, if she couldn't get her footing right or whatever, but she was just.
Yeah.
And the time that I did see her fly, she flew from her stall to the little boy goats where they are, their stall. And that's where she landed. And she just sat there. So we took the mirror out, and she's been there ever since. Michael
said that he thinks that you want to get that donkey across the street, Snow White, and bring it over here.
When we told Mary Carl that Jason had thought about naming the Peacock Snow White, Mary Carl said, "You can't." And we said, "Why?" She said, "Because we already have Snow White across the road."
That's so funny. That's so funny.
Yeah, Snow White across the road. He's a sweet little boy.
Yeah.
I've never been around him without a fence being in front of me. So I say that, but he may kick the daylights out of me if I were to, be close to him. But we've always had a fence separating us. Snow White is a donkey that lives across the road. Snow White is the peacock that lives in our barn.
Yep. Oh, Snow White. Somebody asked about sheep. I would love baby doll sheep. I love those sheep. I just think they are the cutest and sweetest looking animal there is. The only thing I worry about is finding someone to shear them, because they'd have to be sheared every year. And
that's not something we can do.
That's nothing we can do. Now, we do have somebody that I don't say friends, but we know well, and that's 1818 Farm. And she has baby doll sheep. And she has asked us in the past when she's had some, do we want any of them? I think there's a waiting list for them. But anyways, we had to turn it down in the past, but it might be hard for me to turn it down if she were to ask me again.
Well, I've been wanting to go visit her.
Yes.
At her farm. It's in Alabama. And I can tell you what's going to happen. If we do go visit, and we do see her sheep, and then she has one available, it's going to come to live at Coghill Farm. There's no way around it. That's what happens.
That's what happens.
Is when you look at something and you see it, we may not bring it home that day, but it'll be stuck in our head that we want one of those.
It would be. The last time she asked me, she had a male that was weather.
I think she had two males
that were black,
and they were so
cute. My gracious,
they were so cute.
Oh my gracious. And sheep would be a good option, because sheep are excellent grazers. They love to graze.
So, okay, I got a question.
Yes.
I don't know anything about sheep. I'm sheep stupid. Do sheep eat hay in the winter?
Yeah, they would eat hay in the
Okay.
winter. I'm pretty sure that sheep would eat hay in the winter.
Okay.
Only thing about sheep is we have to be extremely careful because sheep can't have copper, and the goats have to have copper. So you
What?
have to be very, very, very careful
I got a
with
good,
mixing them.
good answer for that,
or-
Jason.
What's that?
So we decided that we're not going to put Mo and Joe in the pasture that's beside the barn because they stink just too bad.
They could go there.
The sheep could go there.
Mm-hmm. They could.
What do y'all think about that?
They could go there. I love the baby doll sheep. And hers are tame. She babies her
oh,
sheep.
they're tame. They're very tame.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to breed them and reproduce them and sell them or anything like that. I would just want them for pets.
I would I think she has. Of course, she's gonna have harder time getting rid of the wethers.
Yeah, I think that's what we would want.
And that's probably what we want. Yeah.
We would just want a couple of pets to look pretty, and
we need to go up there.
We do, but I'm telling you,
it's a beautiful farm. Y'all look it up. She's a flower farm, and her mascot is the baby doll sheep. She is a successful farmer, and just I love what she's done over the years. She's been in business for a good little bit, and she does other things too.
It's in Mooresville, Alabama,
little bitty tiny town,
and located on 3 acres.
Really?
Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yep. It's Natasha is her name.
Yep.
And if you're on Facebook, here is her profile to follow her.
You can see the baby doll sheep.
I didn't want to mention that.
If y'all have never seen a baby doll sheep,
go follow her.
Oh my gracious. Click on that picture.
Jason, don't make me do this.
Look at
No,
this.
let's find a black one.
Look at
find
those
a black
things.
one. Where's the picture?
Let me see here. There you go. She's probably got a lot of her flowers though.
She's a flower farmer.
Big flower farm.
That one's not a good one. Oh, here we go. This is not a black one, but this is a cute one. Y'all look at that. Is that not precious?
Oh, me.
How cute would
Somebody
that
said
be?
if we go to Mooresville, we'll have to take the tour. We would spend the day there and film it.
And isn't that near Mentone where the flower cafe is?
Yeah, I think so.
Wildflower Cafe?
I think so.
We want to go eat there.
Yep.
It's oh, this one's even pretty, and it's brown.
Yeah.
It's got a halter on. Look how cute.
It's so cute.
I can just feel its precious little wool right now. And they obviously do well in the Alabama heat because she has them.
She's in Alabama. And I don't know if she shears hers or if she has somebody. That would be who I need to ask. And if she could help us locate somebody that would come around like to do our feet. There's people that come around and shear animals too.
Mine and Jason's feet. We have somebody comes around and does our feet. We don't go to them. They come to us. Our toes are bad. This is the one I want.
Oh,
look at that thing.
Oh my goodness.
Now my toes have never looked like Fifi because I'm on a regular rotation. Right?
Come around and bring out the grinders.
That's right.
Have
to use a hoof boss on us. Oh goodness.
Oh me. Well, we're probably holding up Lester and Jamie.
Well, we probably are, right? I mean, sorry about that, guys. If y'all are watching, Lester and Jamie got to come on.
We were a little late getting on here.
We were.
Yeah.
And we apologize. But look, if y'all are interested, Petals from the Past is next Saturday.
September 14th.
They ask that you go to their website and you register so they can keep an eye on how many people may be there. Although if you don't do it, then it's okay.
Yeah, they want to make sure they got enough toilets and stuff, that kind of stuff, food and whatnot.
Yeah, that's right. So my coffee's empty. Jason put me an ice cube in it. It worked out very well. And I don't have any appointments on Tuesday, so we plan to be back live.
That's right.
Tuesday at 4:00.
Yep.
I'll have a video tomorrow.
Yep.
Jason Monday, and we will see y'all then.
Y'all be good.